Hey there, and welcome to Apocaflix Movies. I am Jacob Bartley. Before we get started here, we just wanted to tell you a little bit more about our channel. Of course, we discuss things all movie related, and we also focus on Star Wars and geek culture. So if that's what you're into, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate it. You can also find us on all podcast platforms, including Anchor, Apple, and Spotify. Thanks for watching us, and enjoy the show. Good morning, world, and welcome to Apocaflix Now, our main weekly show on Apocaflix Movies, where we talk some movie news and talk anything going on in the world of movies, what we've been watching, even some TV stuff too. I am your host, Jacob Bartley, and I am joined by just Mr. Jake Berlin today. It is a two-man show today. A lot of the guys are busy. Brian's in Hawaii, hopefully enjoying himself. Hi, Brian, if you're watching this later on, because we're not live.
We are not live today. We are not live today.
Not live, but I'm sure he'll be watching this later on.
Yes.
We got some really cool stuff to talk about, maybe something that I am really excited about. A bunch of things I'm really excited about. So we'll get into it today. But Jake, man, how you been? It's holiday season. You enjoying yourself?
Yeah, I am. It's December. The year's wrapping up. Work has been a little wild.
Yeah.
End of the year stuff, especially with my business. But it's always good to have a little bit of break and talk some movie stuff because
Absolutely.
we see each other once, maybe twice a week, and it's gonna be fun, just the two of us.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, I'm loving life right now. I just wrapped up my school
Yeah,
semester.
dude, congrats. I know you're not graduating, but
yeah, but every semester is a win,
yes,
man. Every
yes.
semester is a win, and I'm so excited. I almost gave up halfway through, but I didn't, and I got we'll see how my grades turn out. I got 2 A's and a B and a C. We'll see how it goes. That's good enough for me. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really excited to catch up on some movies. I've been doing so. Speaking of that, our first topic is what we've been watching lately. Before we get into our main movies that we're going to talk about, just really quick, a couple things I've caught up on.
Yeah.
Which I caught up on Booksmart. Amazing.
Wait, that was the first time you've seen it?
Yes.
Oh man,
dude, it's crazy.
It's so funny. What day did you end school?
Yesterday.
And
but I've been watching movies this past week.
Every day this week, you'd be like, "Oh my god, this movie!
Exactly.
Oh my god, this movie!"
So the thing is, I've been doing final stuff, and I'm just I'm put on a movie while I do
Totally,
it. You know, and so I watched. Yes, dude. Knowing me, my taste in movies, Booksmart. I'm sure you know. I freaking love that movie so much. Also, what's it called? The Seth Rogen movie.
Long Shot.
Incredible.
It's in my top 10 of the year so far. It's still sitting there.
I wanted to watch that movie, but the thing I know you love Charlize Theron, but you're not the biggest Seth Rogen fan. So when you came back and told me that you love this movie, I was like, okay, if he loves a movie where Seth Rogen's the co-lead,
because it's not classic Seth Rogen.
Very true. He's very toned down in this movie. He still has his
it's still Seth Rogen
abilities,
the stair scene.
Yeah. And the scene where he checks into the security and he's putting all his stuff into the box.
Dude, I gotta say,
yeah.
When you put Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron on paper, it is so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredible. Their chemistry is so good.
Absolutely.
It is so good.
Yeah, it definitely works. And so it's funny because, I feel like this happens a lot every year, but it's I watch movies at the end of the year that I'm like, oh my goodness, these are some of my favorite movies of the year. And those two definitely are. I think that was it.
Well, we're going to talk about one together we've both seen.
Yes.
Marriage Story.
But as far as catching up on movies that came out a long time ago, those were a couple that I did.
Yeah. No, but so I've kind of done a lot of watching too. We're going to talk about Marriage Story.
Yeah.
I got a chance to see Honey Boy, the Shia LaBeouf movie that he wrote. This film is incredible. It is absolutely incredible.
I can't wait to see it, yeah.
His performance, I cannot believe he didn't get nominated for the Globes. We're still waiting for the Oscars, obviously.
Would he be Best Supporting?
Probably. I don't know, man. He could probably be as a lead. He
plays his dad,
It's
right?
kind of a co-lead, yeah. The story it's incredible, and the way it's written and directed specifically. And Lucas Hedges, who's in Manchester by the Sea.
Oh.
He plays an older version of Shia, the kid in the movie, who's played by Noah Jupe. Noah Jupe is incredible. He's the. Have you seen Ford v Ferrari yet?
No.
So he's Christian Bale's son in that movie.
Nice.
But yeah,
dude, I love Lucas Hedges, man. He was nominated for Manchester.
He was,
United,
yeah.
And he was in Lady Bird. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. So if anybody gets a chance to go see Honey Boy, go see Honey Boy. This movie is one of the best movies of the year. But then the other movie I saw, and we'll get to Marriage Story because we both got to see it, but I watched Michael Bay's Six Underground.
Nice.
This is the most Michael Bay movie of all time.
It looks like it.
Ryan Reynolds has been promoting it as the most Michael Bay movie of all time. This movie is effing bonkers. It is. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good, but it was entertaining.
I don't doubt it.
I cannot believe that this movie actually got made. So what's funny about it is I would have loved to have seen this movie directed by someone else because I feel like it would have been really good. The bones of it are really good. The story, because it's written by Rhett Reese and Paul Rennick, who did the Deadpool movies.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have good writing backgrounds, but then you throw Michael Bay in it, and that goes out the window.
Oh, yeah.
That just completely goes...
You can write the greatest script in the world and give it to Michael Bay.
I've never seen more cars
in
my life split directly down the middle like he does. It is... I can't believe that...
Oh, my God.
It's... Just watch it. It's wild. It is absolutely wild.
I have nothing to lose except a couple hours, right?
And the cast is really good. Like, the cast that he assembled is really cool and really different from each other. But man, is it crazy. It is just... There's a 30-minute car chase scene to open.
What?
I swear to you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's... Yeah.
Well, I've known about the movie for a while, but I love the trailer when Ryan Reynolds is like, you have one shot. Would you let it slip? And then you're like,
is that Eminem?
Yeah.
It plays so much better inside the context of the story.
Because, if you didn't know that was Eminem and you just heard someone saying that, it sounds like a motivation speech.
Yes. So that movie is just wild. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, watch the movie because it's crazy. Yeah. It is crazy. It's the most obnoxious movie.
Looks like it, yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of, do we want to get into Crisis or
let's talk Marriage Story?
Right? Speaking of Netflix movies, which you can watch in the comfort of your own home now, which I did last night as soon as I got off. So I got off after work. The first night of me going home and not having to do homework in 5 months. And I was like, what am I gonna do tonight? Watching Marriage Story, and I had heard great things, and I was like, oh wow, it looked like a movie that was going to have a lot of prestige because of the performances and all that, but I didn't know it was getting so much Oscar, right? And rightfully so. Oh my goodness.
It's probably, I'll have to go through my list, but it might be the most powerful movie. Yeah, there's a lot of meaning.
So thing is, for me, it's always that battle between favorite and best movie, right? It's like your list ends up being like a mixture of those things.
You have your biased opinions, but then you really have to think about what's great.
I still have Endgame as my number one movie, right? But this movie's better. This movie is the best movie of the year that I've watched. But it's not my favorite movie. You know what I mean? It's probably not even in my top 5. But
I think I feel the same way.
But it's like, if I'm just looking at it, and you can't, you have to be subjective with movies, but if you're just really asking me, what is the best movie of the year, not your favorite, I might say Marriage Story. Because this movie, I was drawn to it because of the performers. I love Adam Driver.
Especially in this type of movie.
Exactly, because we've seen them in Star Wars and Avengers and all those things. And, I love Adam Driver. He is... I was thinking about it, and the thing for me is I don't even plan to love actors. I just know, because when I see them in something, I'm like, oh, I have to see that. And when he comes up at something, I have to see. Funny enough, one of my classes this semester was read this one book, just all about this one book called Don Quixote, and apparently it's one of the greatest novels of all time, or something like that. So my teacher's like, we're gonna watch a movie at the end of the semester, and I'm like,
was it the Adam Driver one?
And I was like, I don't know, did they make the Don Quixote movie? I didn't even know. I was like, that's cool. And then we show up, and it's the Adam Driver one.
Oh my
God,
it's
The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. And it's directed by the guy who directed Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And have you seen that movie?
No, I've wanted to. So it's had a long road to get.
Yeah, it took like 25 years to get made.
It took a long time, and even Adam Driver filmed it years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to see that movie.
You should check it out. Jealous. It's I don't know if it's free on Amazon Video, but it's on Amazon Video. So we watched that in class, and it's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's entertaining. And the thing for me, point being, when I was watching that movie, I realized like Adam Driver's like one of my favorite actors, man, regardless of Star Wars. And the thing is, like, I watched him on Girls before he was ever on Star Wars.
Yeah, I didn't watch Girls, but that's what everybody talks about.
I used to watch Girls, and he was just the weirdest, most kookiest character. That show, like, just an oddball. Yeah. He's an oddball on that show. And then when he was cast as Kylo Ren, I was like, I could totally see villain. And we didn't know he was Ben Solo at the time. Cool. So, like, I've had this history of just watching Adam Driver, and I love Adam Driver. And obviously, he was great in Black Klansman. This is his best performance. I
think so. I'm with you. I think this movie, as of right now, I haven't seen everything for the rest of the year because 1917 comes out, some other stuff. I think this movie is a lock for Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best.
Maybe, man. Maybe it's tough.
I know that the woman who is playing Judy Garland, what's her name? Renee Zellweger. Is getting a lot of buzz for her performance. I haven't seen it, but Scarlett Johansson, this is by far her best performance of her career. Maybe Jojo Rabbit kind of can be compared to that. She's put 2 back-to-back performances in there, rock solid.
She would be supporting in Jojo Rabbit, though.
Yes,
maybe? Yeah.
But I think Adam Driver is the one that's an absolute lock for her. His performance is so raw. It's so real. I love that Noah Baumbach in multiple situations literally just put a camera up in a corner and let them act to each other. No music, dead silent in a room. They were literally just sitting there.
So for me, 30 minutes into the movie, I wrote on our group chat, ScarJo's winning her Oscar this year. Because for me, her scene is when she first meets her lawyer.
Laura Dern. And that pan around
and
shot.
And she tells the lawyer the story.
So good.
I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then Adam Driver's scene is in the apartment when they have the argument in the apartment near the end of the movie. Like, I'm getting like teary-eyed because this movie is, as soon as, even the opening of the movie is amazing.
The letters to each other?
Because it's like them explaining to their marriage counselor what they like about each other, but they never actually said those things to each other. It was just what they wrote, and we see he reads the letter.
That moment at the end is heartbreaking.
Yeah, and it's like
absolutely heartbreaking.
The thing is, even though it's set in the world of a play director and an actress and all these things that most people can't relate to.
So real.
The thing is, so many people go through this in real life. As far as the couple, as far as the kid. Like, it's so relatable. And
that kid was great, too.
Yeah, he was.
Really good.
He was. And it's realistic. It's like, it sucks, but kids do play favorites with their parents. And it's unfortunate. Obviously, he preferred to be with his mom way more than the dad. And it's sad. Like, it was sad because the dad wants to just be a part of his life. You know?
And she explained it in the opening of the movie. It's funny because right before we got here today, Gabby started it at home. She started watching it. So I got to see the opening again.
Yeah.
She explained it in the opening about how he likes all the things you're not supposed to, about getting up in the middle of the night and taking care of him, sleeping in his bed or sleeping on the ground or whatever. And then that all of a sudden is basically ripped away from him. And you see it in his performance about how heartbreaking. Like, it looked like it was physically happening to him and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Like, there weren't actors on screen. It looked like he just followed a couple around for a whole time.
I know, and that's crazy because, and the thing is for me, in the beginning of the movie when they come home from, they know they're splitting up, right? But they come home from working, I think it was like
the restaurant,
right? And she says, "Goodnight, Charlie," and as soon as she turns the corner, she starts breaking down crying. And I was like, that is so realistic. Like, that's how human beings are. And it's crazy to me. I did not expect this from this movie. Like, when I heard about this movie, I was like, interesting. Like, that'll be a good movie. I didn't think it was going to reach this level.
I do think that as of right now, it's probably the lead contender for.
I would say so. I mean, I haven't seen everything.
Neither have I.
But you've seen more than I have, and I as far as I can tell,
It's this movie. It screams Oscars. It really does.
Yeah.
And, and Laura Dern should probably be nominated for Best Supporting. She was incredible in this movie. She was really good in this movie too.
Yeah, Laura Dern, man, she's been killing it like this past decade.
All three of them have had a great year. A great year. Scarlett Johansson had Endgame, JoJo, and this. Adam Driver has Star Wars, the movie called The Report.
Oh yeah.
And then he was in something else earlier. And then Laura Dern, Big Little Lies, a couple of it. She's back for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
All three of them are big names, and then I love that Ray Liotta popped up out of nowhere. I had no idea he was in this movie.
Oh, I guess we're doing a spoiler review of Marriage Story. it has big Endgame plot points. But I love when he's gets rid of the cheap lawyer and then brings Ray Liotta into it, and they're and then Laura Dern's oh crap, we're not playing around anymore. We got to do this. I love that.
That courtroom scene was.
And I didn't realize it when you see him sitting down writing the $25,000 check. I didn't realize it at first, what he was doing. And then when I was
I didn't know, neither did I.
That's why he was writing the $25,000 check to
pay for the lawyer.
Hire Ray Liotta, and that was cool. I like that.
So definitely one of the best movies of the year.
Oh my goodness, the way that so weird how when they talk to each other, I mean they get in arguments, but they're fine, they're civil. But then the way the lawyers portray how they feel about each other.
That courtroom scene was hard, man. That was tough.
Because the lawyer wants to know everything. Tell me everything about them, and they're going to use that.
But they twist. Anything they will say, they twist.
Even if they didn't say it that way.
The entire movie, it kept going back to the point that they always talked about they wanted to do it themselves. They wanted to do it themselves. But then the lawyers just started putting things inside their heads to get what they wanted.
It's stupid because how much money did they spend to get to that?
Adam Driver had. I didn't realize this, but when you get divorced, the male has to pay for half of the woman's lawyer fees. I had no idea.
Yeah, they said that. I don't know how that works. It must depend on the financial situation, and it might be that's part of the agreement in the courtroom. It's that's what the woman's side is asking for, And it's crazy, and I think they ended up settling on no money involved. They each get to keep their own.
They mentioned that his grant for the theater company
keeping the grant. He doesn't get some of her TV money and all that stuff. Which the way they end up in the movie was a great ending. They're friends, and she said we want to stay friends at the beginning of the movie, and they did. And they're cool. They're going to raise the kid together. He's moved to LA, and the thing is, they didn't need the lawyers to get to that point, but they just spent so much money on the lawyers.
But that's real life.
Exactly. So, anyways, we could. It feels like we could have done an hour review on this movie, but I loved it. It's amazing. As of right now, I still think Joaquin Phoenix is up there for me as Joker, but as of right now, they're both the leads for best actor and actress for sure. And you, Honey Boy, any other thoughts on Honey Boy?
No, I mean, I just think that Shia, this guy has proven again twice this year that he is a force to be reckoned with on screen.
Absolutely.
Peanut Butter Falcon and this, a lot of people downgrade him because of what happened off screen, stuff like that. And it's portrayed very well in this movie.
Yeah.
What has happened to him, what happened with his father, stuff like that. The way he plays that character is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and a half long, and I really, really like that. It's very interesting, and obviously his father wasn't the greatest person in the world, but the story didn't do it to where it showed us this is the worst human being.
Yeah.
There's a specific line at the end of the movie that kind of rounds it out in a good way. But this is definitely one of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the thing is, people need to let Shia LaBeouf thing go. He didn't murder anyone. He's not physically hurting anybody. He was a weirdo and a douchebag at one point, but he's a great actor. And for me, it's ever since the movie Fury.
David Ayer movie.
I love him in that movie. He's just been turning in great performances. And if this movie doesn't get him a nomination and put him up there to where people need to start taking him seriously, it's going to lead to his career. And the thing is, he's so young still.
Also, as a writer, who wrote this movie.
Exactly. And I won't be surprised if he starts writing and directing and like that. And I was just saying, he's still so young because we've known him for a long time because he was a child star, but still so young. So he has a long career ahead of him.
Totally.
Yeah. So Crisis on Infinite Earths, man. Wow. Like, this is crazy. I've been telling people, like, because most people in my life don't watch these shows. So, like, I'm like, I want to talk about them. I'm excited. And I'm like, all right, I try to explain to them, look, this is basically the Infinity War and Endgame of DC television. Like, put it that way. And it basically is kind of
I agree.
It's
totally
the biggest event in the CW, maybe in comic book television history.
It totally is.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's come close.
100%. Yeah, I'm unfortunately, because of all the news that came out this week, we only have so much time to talk about it, but we'll do a full spoiler review after the 2 episodes. We're going to dive into it probably for like
But
an
have
hour.
you been enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I think that there's pieces that I don't like.
Of course, yeah, me too.
I think there's certain execution pieces that just don't stand with me. I think that there's so much going on that it's hard for them to stay on the same storyline.
Well, it kind of happens every crossover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I still stand by the fact that I have no idea why Iris is involved in this.
Oh my goodness! All right,
idea why
2 months ago we started talking about this, like how we hate how she gets involved in the action scenes.
It's like the Lois Lane thing in Batman v Superman. Mm-hmm. It's exactly like that. Now I get it. Now they have a little bit of a cop out here because spoilers for Crisis. Flash is the paragon of love, and so she plays into that.
Yeah,
and so it's a little bit of like, well, this is what the story is. Like, he's the paragon of love. Okay, I get that. Why is she involved in everything? Like, exactly. She's literally, she says the last line to the Anti-Monitor, like, wherever they are, they're gonna get you. Like, why is she the one saying that? Like, why? There's literally Superman is next to her. You have Diggle. You have Pariah. I mean, you have all these. You have Elongate Man. Why is she the one doing it?
After she said that, a couple other of them had some like follow-up lines to it, but that was like the big line.
Still don't get it, man.
Dude, I know they push Iris so hard in this universe.
Oh my god! And that scene where Barry's talking about how right before Flash from Earth 90 dies, and they're having that scene together. We're like, this might be it. This is the moment. I didn't buy her crying, like, all this lovey-dovey stuff at all. Like, I'm just, like, so over her. Like, I just want her out. Like, gone.
Yeah.
I know it's bad for me to say, but I just don't
that's
care
your
about
opinion.
it. I just don't care about it anymore.
And I don't know if you saw now last week, watched it, but Flash this season is terrible. Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. And he's not helping with that at all. And it just sucks because they're forcing her into these plot lines. They're forcing her. And if they did it naturally and it flowed well and it worked, I wouldn't be complaining. But they're totally shoving her down your throat. And
she's not supposed to be the team lead. Flash is taking a back seat. He's supposed to be the team guy, the team leader. He's literally, they're like saying, okay, do this. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. He's always off doing something. And she's like there telling everybody what to do.
She should not be the team lead. She's a reporter. She's a reporter.
The Anti-Monitor chose her to like that she has a role to play in this, and she has to go find Superman.
So
like,
stupid.
What?
So stupid.
No. Anyways, I enjoy it. There's some really cool things. I love the Batgirl and Supergirl stuff.
Yes,
love it so much.
So I know that it probably won't happen, and they're gonna rewrite everything like they did in Infinity War with bringing the Earths back.
Oh, absolutely.
But I really wish that they would have the balls to essentially, after this crossover, there is no Supergirl and Batwoman. It's World's Finest, and it's Supergirl and Batwoman. I wish they would have the balls to do that. I really do.
I think we're going to see them together a lot 100%. More. They're not going
to... Well, they're on different Earths.
No, I know.
So that we'll see.
Still, I do think we will. I mean, we've seen characters like on the Flash show where characters from Earth 1 or Earth 2 are like, they're in the whole season. You know what I'm saying? So they can figure out a way. They are 100% going to do a Batgirl versus Supergirl.
Their dynamic is so cool.
Storyline. They're going to do it.
Dynamic,
and that's the whole point why she has the kryptonite and everything. They're going.
Their dynamic is awesome.
There's going to be a reason why Batwoman has to go try to take out Supergirl.
I agree with you. I think that Ruby Rose plays really well with Melissa Benoist.
Yeah.
Like, really well.
They do, yeah.
I love all of the cameos that are happening. It's like overflow sometimes. Like, you're trying to look everywhere that's going on, and you're trying to find out where the cameos are.
We're going to do... I don't want to spoil too much, but we're going to do a full-fledged spoiler review.
Yes, we are.
My prediction was correct.
Both of our predictions were correct. We talked about it after the second episode.
Before, like, I've been saying he was going to show up, but then the reason why he shows up, we were both correct.
It totally makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Absolutely. And, dude, you should have seen me in that moment. I lost my mind.
Well, very cool. Well, another interesting cameo that happened in that scene when they show the logos like Earth and it's counting down and it says 99 or 666. Yeah. So when it says that in the corner, it says Watchmen. So people are thinking that Watchmen on HBO operates on his Earth.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It says Watchmen in the bottom right corner. Underneath Earth 666.
Does it really?
Yeah. So people are thinking that the Damon Lindelof show that's going on right now might operate on his Earth.
Interesting.
So who knows? I mean, it'll never come to pass, obviously, but very cool. My
like an Easter egg, yeah.
That's your Easter egg. That's your cameo. My cameo, Smallville.
Yeah.
Tug the heartstrings. I know that it wasn't much, but like I told you,
I don't watch Smallville. I never watched Smallville. So
exactly like I told you, it's exactly what would have happened 10 years after the show went off. It's the story. That is exactly what that Clark Kent would have done 10 years after the show went off the air, or 8 years or whatever it was.
So when the show ends, I guess, I mean, I'm just gonna say it's kind of a spoiler in a way. Does he give up his powers?
No, the show, the final shot of the series is him opening his shirt to go save something at Metropolis.
Okay.
So he's in Metropolis. Him and Lois Lane are together. They work with the Daily.
So in the show, they never call him Superman. Is that correct?
No.
But then,
yes and no. I don't want to. Yes and no. Kind of sort of yes.
So I heard that though in the show they never actually call him
There's
Superman.
For a long time they don't, but yes and no.
Okay,
yes
so then the scene opens up with like articles. They're panning by and it's like Superman saves the day on all these things. So he eventually like took on the whole Superman,
which is what the final shot of the entire series implied. Yeah. So the final time that we see them, Clark and Lois, there's a flash forward to a few years or something. They are the Superman and Lois that we know. Reporters, that together, that type of stuff, like Christopher Reeves type of person.
I was just expecting him to play a bigger.
So
role,
I wanted to see him in a suit.
Yeah,
just as a Smallville fan, I wanted to see him in a suit.
It's all right. It's all right. But I'm curious. We haven't really talked about this. Do you like John Cryer as Lex Luthor?
There are moments I like him.
Absolutely. I actually like I don't love him, but like for what it, because when they first cast him, I was like, what? That's weird. And then for not expecting to like it, I like it.
I don't know how I feel about him, what he did in the episode.
I didn't like that. But just overall, even if they never did that at the end, just his overall, the way he plays the character, I think it's fun.
I get that they're doing like a villain's got to save the world type of thing, but I don't know how. I gotta see how it plays out to see how it.
Yeah, we'll see. And it sucks because what it takes away.
Yes,
you know what I mean,
dude. Who he takes away from, awesome.
It's crazy because we never. This is bigger. We never. It's a theatrical movie. Superman is in this TV world now. Like that's crazy.
Well, and he canonized Christopher Reeve Superman.
That's true. So that technically,
because he goes. Well, this is the second time I fought myself.
Oh yeah,
and that's from Superman 4 or whatever it is.
So when Bryan Singer made that Superman, he said it's a direct sequel to Superman 2.
Yes.
So technically, that's Christopher Reeve Superman,
100%.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Like you go into these, you're not expecting much. Like it's just cheesy fun, right? But we care about these shows, so I'm having a good time. Last thing. How did you feel? You never watched Black Lightning. How did you feel about his character?
I think he's awesome. It's funny. I actually thought about it afterwards. I'm like, I don't have to binge the series.
Dude, he's one of my favorite characters in the Arrowverse.
I wish he had more to do. Yeah. But he's not a Paragon.
Exactly.
He's not a Paragon.
Exactly. And dude, because I do watch the show. So when he first shows up and he finds out that his Earth is gone, it was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, 100%. So I will say one final thing before we move on. Oliver is going to be 8th Paragon. And he's now has superpowers because he's Spectre. Saying it right now.
Interesting. So, is there an 8th Paragon though?
As of right now, no.
Well, in the trailer, he's like, "There's only 8 of us." So.
Oh, does it say that?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't watch any trailers.
Oh, he's like, "It's the 8 of us," and then.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, so I was at the Smowdown last weekend, and we'll talk about it at a later date or whatever. But I talked to Coy Jandreau for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And the day before, or 2 days beforehand, he had Stephen Amell and Robbie Amell in there for their movie Code 8. He had an interview with them. And Stephen Amell told him, he said, yeah, I had this really grueling 20-minute fight scene for episode. That's the last episode of the crossover. So I'm thinking he's the 8th Paragon and he's back in the fold kicking ass.
And then didn't he tweet something like all the
yeah, I showed you that he said that it's the most epic fight scene in the history of the Arrowverse or whatever.
I hope they're not fighting like creatures. I don't know what they're gonna fight, but
I hope it's not those ghost creatures.
Yeah, exactly.
The fight scene was cool, but I hope it's not the ghost creatures.
Yeah, because we already saw it.
That's easy to do.
And by the way, I mean, so that's the first episode, right? When he fights those ghost creatures. Like, what he did was epic at that moment because he saved 1 billion people.
He saved an entire world, essentially.
Yeah, they said
half the world.
So they saved like 3 or 4 billion people.
Half the world.
And because of what he did, he saved 1 billion people. Like that's a big deal. Like,
that's a hero.
That's
a hero, dude.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out.
We'll get into a full. It's hard to not go into full spoilers.
We kind of spoiled some things.
We'll get into a complete. We'll probably take an hour-long review.
Oh yeah, we'll just do a whole thing. It's kind of like reviewing.
It's going to end so epically, though. You know? We might have to do like a watch along the last episode.
Yeah, really cool. I think it would be so cool to like watch the whole thing without any commercial interruptions and just all like the runtime would probably be the length of a long movie, like a 2 hour.
Maybe I find a way to cut it all together.
That would be really cool because I bet you it would flow a lot better that way. Definitely. Totally. All right, Jake, what is our hot topic of the week, man?
Yeah, so we have some really cool news that you're
Crisis was our hot topic.
Yeah, so notes changed. It happened last night, and on my way home from work after I finished the notes and everything, some news dropped for Power Rangers. There is officially a Power Rangers reboot is in the works from Paramount. And after the most recent reboot that happened years ago, Paramount actually bought the property from Saban, yeah. Saban?
Yeah.
And so this comes from the Hollywood Reporter who had the exclusive, and they revealed that this is fully in Paramount's court now. This is their job to do.
Paramount they make the Transformers movies, right?
Yes.
So they work with Hasbro.
Yes, yeah. And exactly. So they work together, and they have a studio company called Allspark Productions.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what it will be run through. And just little details on this. There's no details as far as release dates or anything, but it comes from the director of a Netflix show. Oh my God, why? The End of the Effing World. And his name, oh my God, where is
he? He has a very unique.
His last name is Entwistle.
Yeah.
And so he's from the creator of the Netflix show, The End of the Effing World, which is a very, very powerful show, very good show. The second season just dropped last month. And this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and they reveal some details about the movie and storyline, and it goes as the following. It says, now in Paramount's court, Rangers is getting rebooted once more in a way that hopes to bring the franchise to its roots. The story is said to involve a time travel element that brings the kids to the 1990s, and in Back to the Future fashion, they have to find a way to get back to their present. Patrick Burleigh, who wrote the upcoming Peter Rabbit 2, is penning the script. We have our resident Power Rangers fiend in here. And it's just so fitting that it's the two of us today. All right, man, what do you think? Power Rangers reboot from this filmmaker, this storyline called Rangers at the moment? Yeah. I think
so. Yeah. Full disclosure, as Jake said, I am a Power Rangers fanatic, particularly Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's what I grew up on. But I love a lot of the seasons after that. And I've been waiting, like, you know, this is the type of thing where you just wait for it. And the thing for me, it sucks because, you know, last Power Rangers movie was a huge flop at the box office. There's no denying that.
I will say this. I like that movie more and more every time I watch it.
The thing is, I love the movie, but I'm saying financially it was a flop. Financially, it had a $100 million budget. It made $140 million. That means they lost money.
Marketing and everything.
Yeah, they lost money. So, but I love that movie, and I wanted a sequel to it. But it makes sense that they're not doing one. It makes total, especially because that was a Lionsgate thing, and they already sold it to Hasbro. All those things. Not having seen End of the Effing World and not having Peter Rabbit 2, who knows? That better be the greatest movie of all time for me to get excited.
In your eyes, yeah.
Yeah. But regardless of those things, I love this news because, first of all, they're making one. Thank you, Hasbro, and thank you, Paramount, for giving this another shot, because I think do it right, and you got to catch lightning in a bottle with this thing. Like, you have to, because it's not, even though everyone knows what Power Rangers are, it's not like this huge thing where everybody's a big fan of. Like, general people aren't like, like, it's cool to like Marvel and Star Wars. It's not cool to like Power Rangers. You know what I mean? And so you have to like appeal to mass audiences somehow. And I love this concept of going back to the 90s, because that's when the show originally aired. And the show is so 90s. It's so cheesy, and the clothes they wear, and they hang out at a juice bar and they do karate, and it's just so 90s. And for them to, whatever, they're in modern day, and they have to go back, they get sent back to the 90s, and then I want to see that environment of the original TV show. And the thing with that is, you can have the cheesiness of the TV show because you're making fun of it because they're in the past in the 90s. I think this concept is brilliant, because you tried to do a straight reboot, like a young adult, like serious type reboot. You tried that. While I loved it, it didn't resonate with me. So, you gotta try something new. And this is new now. Go for the cheesiness. Have fun. Take it seriously, but have fun with it. And I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the coolest thing about this, outside of the storyline, because when I think of Power Rangers, that's not what I think of, and I think it's totally different. And time travel is a very hot commodity. It is. It's in a lot of properties, and I think it's cool to kind of play off this. I didn't watch Power Rangers growing up, but I know of it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like the reboot, and I like it more and more as I watch it. But the coolest thing about this is that they're not getting a young adult director to direct the movie. Yeah. It's from a guy who does vulgar stuff like The End of the Effing World, which is the show follows two teenagers who go on a road trip, and one of them believes he's a sociopath.
Yeah, I read the synopsis of that show, and I was like, whoa.
It's a wild show, and you're getting someone who, outside the box, would not fit this property usually.
He's got to be a fan.
Exactly.
He's got to be a fan.
Exactly. And there's a lot of times where this really works, and I hope that this does. The coolest part about this, though, the one thing that I want to see from this is a G.I. Joe Transformers Power Rangers crossover.
You've been saying that since
I want to see Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Power. Now that they're all at Paramount and under Allspark, I want to see a crossover. Give me a universe with Power Rangers, Transformers, and G.I. Joe. That would be incredible.
All right.
Give me the multiverse. They're all living on different Earths and everything.
Okay. Look, my first reaction to that is hell no. But I said this when this happened, because we talked about this. Like, Transformers and Power Rangers crossover, like with the robots and the Zords, it could work.
What if the Transformers were their Zords?
That would be crazy. Or
Optimus Prime was
they have
the
to
Red
fight
Ranger.
Transformers. Like, it's just crazy.
Transformers versus Power Rangers? That'd be epic.
Yes. So the thing, all right, I would say hell no at first. But if this is the way to make sure we get Power Rangers movies, I don't care. However we can get Power Rangers movies, if you have to cross it over with Power Rangers and G.I. Joe, screw it. Let's do it. I don't care. Just give me... I wanted there to be, even though it was stupid, I wanted that 6-plan movie plan. And it just didn't work out. And I'm glad they're just announcing one film. Like, just see how this works. Do whatever the budget's going to be. Like, it can't be too much.
Totally.
Do a decent budget. Make $450 at the box office. Just... please, I just want something, you know.
I do think that if say you were to throw the reboot from 2017 and this one at me at the same time, 9 times out of 10 I would probably take this one, because it's taking the mythology of what I know personally and putting a cool spin on it, rather than just essentially what the reboot did is take the Power Rangers property, do exactly what the Power Rangers property is, but put it in modern day.
Exactly. So that's the thing for me is they could have said, we're going to do a Power Rangers, a period piece in the 90s. I like this way more, because if you're doing a period piece in the 90s, you're just, okay, you're in the 90s, that's it. But if you do a time travel thing, it's going to be like, these characters live in modern day. It's going to be like, the hell is this world? Like, why are people dressed like this? Like, what's going on? It's going to be that fish out of water type thing for 5, maybe 6 characters.
Well, it's the same thing we talk about with the Disney live action reboots. We have the animated movie. Give us something different. you have the Power Rangers property that went on for so long. Give us something different.
Absolutely. And so I don't know, and obviously nobody knows whether we're going to get the original Mighty Morphin team as the Rangers in the modern day or future. So if it's just like the traditional, Jason, Kimberly, Billy, Zach, Trini thing, I don't know. Thing is, there's a very popular season of Power Rangers called Power Rangers Time Force, and I watched it this past year for the first time. Well, I saw it as a kid a little bit, but I was never as invested as I was in the original show. That season is awesome, and there's characters in that season that are incredible, and there's particularly the leader of the team is the Pink Ranger, and it's a girl, and her name's Jen.
I like that.
And
That's cool.
In the recent comics, the Shattered Grid thing where they introduced the Lord Draken character, and it was a huge thing. Her character ends up like her team gets killed, and she ends up time traveling or like going to the universe where the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are, and working with them to try to take down Lord Draken. So I wouldn't be surprised, because the thing is, as for Power Ranger fans, Lord Draken is the greatest thing to happen to Power Rangers since the show started. Like, the character is huge. He's the Green Ranger who becomes the White Ranger. Because when the Green Ranger first appears in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he's the bad guy. Rita gives him the green power coin, and he goes after the Rangers and fights them, and he has the Green Dragon Sword and everything. He's bad. So basically, Lord Draken is from an alternate timeline where he never became good and joined the Power Rangers. He stayed bad and conquered the world with Rita, killed Rita, and became like the lord of this world. And then he finds out there's parallel universes, and he starts killing every Ranger team from every universe. Yes.
He's literally the Anti-Monitor.
Kind of, yeah. So if there's time travel in this movie, like, there's so many things you can do. You can use Jen from Time Force. Maybe it's the Time Force team who goes back to the 90s, where maybe the Mighty Morphin team is there, and they work together. And then if they go, the Lord Draken character is so popular that they can introduce him in this, and it would be epic. So I buy this. I love it.
Let me ask you one thing before we move on here. You want an origin story or no?
No, I don't want an origin story. Look, we already tried this. Let's go into it. Whether it's the Mighty Morphin team, whether it's the Time Force team, start the movie in present day where they're already a team of Rangers and they're already working together. There's nothing wrong with that. Origin stories are great, but we've seen tons of movies where these characters are already established and they're going on an adventure. We don't need to know how they got this thing. There's another way they can go where you have these teenagers in present day and they're not even Power Rangers yet. Then they get sent back in time somehow, and they get their powers in the 90s. And then they have to go back to modern day. That could be cool, but again, one of the problems with the 2017 reboot is they took so damn long to become the Power Rangers. Suits, they don't even get into their suits until the last 30 minutes of the movie. Yeah. There's no action until the last 30 minutes of the movie.
They were banking on sequels and stuff.
Exactly. So, no, I want an established team, or maybe one established team and one team who becomes Power Rangers, something like that.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on to our next topic, away from a hot take. And our next topic is the Wonder Woman trailer. I know this came out last Sunday. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be a week old, but we have not gotten a chance to talk about it yet. And I know that, again, it's been out there, so we're going to take a quick amount of time here to kind of just cover a little bit our thoughts. The question that I have, because it is a pretty big topic, is, does the trailer get you more excited, less excited, or are you sitting in the same spot you were before you saw it? So, Jacob, out of the five of us, you're probably the one who liked Wonder Woman the most.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the first look at Wonder Woman 1984?
This trailer's awesome. It's awesome. Look, there's a few question marks for me.
Yeah, totally. I'm still you.
It's a first trailer. It's a hey, Wonder Woman 2's coming trailer. So for that, I enjoyed it a lot. Even though I hate when they kill characters, bring them back. I don't care. Give me Steve Trevor back. Chris Pine first Wonder Woman movie is so damn good, and there's an argument to be made that the movie doesn't work without him.
And that's very true. No, the first one doesn't work without him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you could have done the second one without
100%. The first one would, if
exactly.
Steve, if he's not in there, no way.
So I'm glad that, and the thing is, I don't think he's the main plot. He's going to be a big part of it, but he's not the main plot. And there's theories as to how he's back. I have my theory,
which is,
I think, and this is the way they set it up. Look, trailer, in my opinion. So Dr. Minerva, So for her and Diana develop a relationship. They're talking about, oh, I had this first love. Like, did she tell him he died or something like that?
Oh, not in the trailer. We don't know.
But yeah, and then I like the Kristen Wiig line. She's like, "Oh, I've had many, many loves or whatever." Yeah. It was funny. And I'm not judging until I see it. I'm okay with Kristen Wiig as Dr. Minerva. Yeah. I'm okay with it. And it's another thing where, look, I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, but she needs other actors around her to elevate her, and Kristen Wiig can do that. So I think Dr. Minerva is like, she's, depending on how you look at her story, she's a genius, very intellectual. I think she finds a way to bring Steve Trevor back for her, because they show her, they're talking about it, and then it cuts to her like working on something, and then they show Steve Trevor back, and it's like, I think she, whether it's time travel or some other form, he finds a way to bring him back. There's also,
I think it's Maxwell Lord, Pedro Pascal's character.
Oh, okay.
That's my theory. Because there's a moment in the trailer where he's playing with some artifact.
Okay,
and
that's possible.
Maybe I think that he wants something from Diana, or she makes a deal with him and brings him back somehow or whatever. But I agree with you. I don't think he's going to be the main plot.
Or you can say the gods brought him back.
Exactly.
There's a gift for Diana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting. I hope that I don't walk out of the theater being like, cool, he was back. But why? Like, why do I care about him being?
I'm just confused because I'm not confused, but it's because, like, all right, we know when we see Wonder Woman in Justice League, where's Steve Trevor's not around. So does she lose him again?
Probably.
And Bruce in Justice League, Bruce Wayne says to her,
talks about him.
He says he says something about like,
well, he found the picture or whatever.
Yeah, and he says like some smart ass remark to her, like, couldn't save him or something like that. You know, when they're all arguing, and it's like, okay, we thought he was talking about the events in Wonder Woman 1. So does she lose him again?
More than likely.
Like, look, I don't want to see that. You can't do that again. Like where he sacrifices himself at the end.
Really?
Unless there's some type of trickery going on and it's not really there.
That's the other theory that's going around, that he may just be a figure to her.
Yeah.
Per se.
But I love that because I love him there because in first movie, he's the fish out of water going from the mascara to the real world.
That trash can.
Now he's the fish because now Diana knows.
Yeah.
She's
been there for 40 years or whatever.
Yeah. She knows the world now. She's no different than the people walking around. Other than she's superpowered, obviously, and everything. But like he's not familiar with the world around him, so it's going to be a role reversal.
Totally. I think the trailer looks really cool. A lot of cool action scenes going on.
Yes. Riding
lightning? So sick. I can't wait to see that fully play out.
It's like Spider-Man swinging on buildings, but she's using her.
Did you see there was a GIF that someone added together, and it started out with Zachary Levi from Shazam playing with lightning. And then it moved to her swinging on lightning.
Dude.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but I'm just saying.
Imagine.
You just like made me realize like I want to see them on screen together.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. A lot of cool shots though as far as Wonder Woman stuff go. I love the music. I love the tone, the setting. 80s stuff just really sticks out to me. Very interested to see how she gets her gold suit. The Golden Eagle as they call it. Very, very intrigued. So I think that looks really strong. The only question I really have is the Steve Trevor. I think Pedro Pascal looks great too.
Yeah, which I'm okay with Steve Trevor being back. Like
I'm okay with him as long as it works.
Yeah,
as long as it works.
Yeah, the explanation, and we don't need explanation for everything in every movie, but for that you need explanation. So the explanation better be good.
Totally. All right, well, let's move on to our next trailer. We have a second big trailer that dropped this week earlier. Again, it dropped on Monday morning. Haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, and that is the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. This movie is taking place after Ghostbusters 2. Everything that has came afterwards is no longer. They're doing the Halloween effect, if you will. And this comes from Jason Reitman. who has a really, really good track record with film. But he's directly involved. Obviously, his father was involved with the first two movies. And so he comes back and he's directing a movie that stars Paul Rudd and, oh my God, the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I was just looking up his name. It's Will something, right?
No, it's Will...
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard. There it is. Finn Wolfhard. Yeah, so, I mean, hey, this movie, didn't really know what to expect with it. Ghostbusters has been in a struggle. Obviously, the reboot in 2016 was the all-woman one. It wasn't terrible. Just financially, it was a bomb. Financially, it was a bomb. It didn't make a lot of money. A lot of people didn't like it. And so they went in a different direction. And Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, who was involved with the first two, comes in with a story, and they really like it. I think the trailer looks great. I think it looks really good. Paul Rudd fits this universe. He really does. He fits the universe with a bunch of kids as well. He kind of seems like that science teacher. He really plays that role really well. And I like that it's kind of taking a step back on being like super rambunctious with like ghosts and colors and stuff. It really seems very secluded. And I think that the stuff with the echo and the song and just like the way that it sounds and everything just feels like Ghostbusters. It has me really, really.
This trailer completely caught me off guard. I was expecting, like, as soon as it starts, you hear the Ghostbusters theme, and like it
takes a while.
It's all upbeat, and like you see all the green ghosts flying around. Complete opposite of that, and I liked it because to be honest with you, and look, I'm no diehard Ghostbusters fan. I love the first movie. It's a classic, but I wasn't excited for this movie, to be honest. I wasn't, and I liked the reboot. It wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. It was funny. But I just always remember Chris Hemsworth. He was hilarious in that movie, and as well as all the women were hilarious in that movie too. But I was not that excited for this movie, and I was just like, I just kind of felt like Ghostbusters was something that just either let it breathe or just let it go, you know, and after watching this trailer, I kind of changed my mind because at first it had a horror vibe to me.
Which I really love. Which the first one kind of does.
Yeah, it does. But you know, the thing is, like, I always think of Ghostbusters like as a comedy first. I don't know why.
Bill Murray,
a science
Dan
fiction
Aykroyd.
comedy, and this felt more like a science fiction horror film first, and then I'm sure there's comedic elements involved. Obviously, can't get rid of the identity of what Ghostbusters is. But it doesn't have to, not all jokes right away first, like they tried to do with the 2016 one. So I enjoy this. I was expecting the original cast to be in it a lot more. I don't know why. I thought that was the whole point of them making this movie. And I know they're in it. Some of them, obviously.
I think
Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd are in it. Yeah. I wish, what's his name?
Harold Ramis.
Yes. What the hell, man?
He retired from acting. He's living life as a father.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
I know, right?
But I really enjoyed this trailer, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan, so anything he's in,
he fits that role so well. Yeah. Really does.
And he's not playing like jokey Paul Rudd as much. I'm sure he always is funny, but he's not gonna be like he's not gonna be even as comedic as his Ant-Man character is. You know, it's gonna be more grounded.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on to our next topic. We are at 53 minutes, so we're going to have to hurry through these next three. And we have three big stories that we can talk about here. First one is The Flash. We're hitting up DC again, second of our three topics we have for the DC universe. And after all the struggles and just nonsense that's been going on with this project, The Flash has gotten an official release date from Warner Brothers, and it's set for July 1st of 2022. That's according to The Wrap. Who broke this story. And I'm going to run through some details that this project has gone through since 2015, just to kind of give an idea of what's going on here. It's currently slated to be directed by Andy Muschietti, who did the It movies. But before that, there were 3 or 4 different names who were attached for the project. And in 2015, Chris Miller and Phil Lord joined the project as writers, and they were possibly going to direct, but they left the project to do film solo a Star Wars story. We all know how that turned out. After that, Sam Graham-Smith, who did the Dark Shadows movie, was hired as a replacement to write and direct, and he eventually left because of creative differences. and then he was replaced by Rick Famuyiwa. But he too left because of creative differences not too long after that. And some time passed, and then Ezra Miller himself, The Flash, was teaming up with comics legend Grant Morrison. This is a report, was teaming up with Grant Morrison for a darker tone on the character. But no reports or anything came out saying that actually moved forward. As of right now, Bumblebee writer Christina Hodson is attached to pen the script with Andy Muschietti. I'm sure he's going to have a hand in this as well. But yeah, I mean, hey, there's been a lot of stuff going on with this project over the past couple of years. But now that it's got an official release date, I want to kind of talk about a little bit. Is this movie actually going to happen? Is it actually going to happen?
I don't know. Look, yes, I'm going to be optimistic. Okay, yes. It's hard for me to when you had so many. I was so excited when they announced Rick Famuyiwa. I was like, yes, this awesome. And then I forgot who they cast to play Iris, but I know the actress in my head, but I forget her name. Yeah, the girl from Dope who was in work with Rick Famuyiwa. Yes. So is she still cast as Iris?
Kiersey Clemons?
Yes.
Kiersey Clemons.
Who knows? But and is Ezra Miller still going to play the Flash?
As of right now, he is.
Yeah. So that, I know you don't. I actually like Ezra Miller as the Flash. And the thing is, I think they're going to kind of rework the character a little bit. He's still going to be the same character from Justice League, but I think they're going to bring something different to the character. I'm going to say yes because Andy Muschietti worked with Warner Brothers on the It movies, and they were successful. If you find them both, they made over like $1.3 million for
most successful horror movies.
Yeah, exactly. So they're very. They don't want to piss him off. He's a very successful director now, and I'm sure. I think it's going to happen now, especially because the leadership at Warner Brothers has gotten its stuff together, and especially with the DC properties lately, it seems like even if it's not a shared cinematic universe,
they're working.
They have a vision for their DC properties, and it's working. So I'm going to say yes. We're going to see it, and I want to. I don't know how the world is going to perceive a Flash movie, but I'm excited for it because I love the character.
Yeah, Flash is. I think I've said this. I have oddball choices for DC. Flash and Aquaman are my two favorite DC characters. So I hold them in a special place, and I've always said Ezra Miller just doesn't fit Barry Allen for me, especially how he was portrayed in Justice League. For me, anyway. I'm saying that mindset can't be changed. I hope that's the case. I hope it's kind of taken away from the darker tone. That's given a little bit of a brighter filter, because that's kind of how Barry Allen is. That's how the Flash is, and not to say that there's not bad things that happen, but there's things that he lives in a little bit of a lighter world than a Wayne or like a Wonder Woman. So I do like Andy Muschietti as a director. I think that he can bring a lot to a property. I'm interested to see what Christina Hodson can bring as a writer and what the script's going to look like, how much they really rework it to be on its own, because universe really is kind of working on its own sides right now. Aquaman's over here, Wonder Woman's over here, Flash is over here, no Batman or Superman.
Yeah, and the Bumblebee writer being attached is very promising.
And yeah, because that movie was really good.
That tone of Bumblebee, I want the tone in totally. Flash.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
And so I'll hold out right now. I'll kind of withstand judgment because I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But the fact that Andy Muschietti is attached, that a writer's attached, and that they've given it a release date, it's a good sign moving forward.
For sure.
All right, next topic. We have some horror news, talking about horror movies a little bit. The Conjuring 3 has given an official title and synopsis for the movie, and it is officially going to be titled The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. Just a little note before we get the synopsis. James Wan is not directing the movie. It is being directed by the Curse of La Llorona director Michael Chaves, I think is how you say his name. And it has been given a release date of September 11th, 2020. So it comes out just next year, very quickly. And here's a little synopsis for the movie. The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It reveals a chilling story of terror, murder, and unknown evil that shocked evil experienced real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the most sensational cases from their files starts with a fight for the soul of a young boy. It takes them beyond anything they've ever seen before. It marked the first time in U.S. history that a murder suspect, demonic possession, the back end of that synopsis is very interesting.
Yes.
Very, very interesting as far as historical stuff, because this is all true life stuff. It's all actually happened to these characters. James Wan not directing. kind of makes me nervous a little bit because the first 2 Conjuring movies were incredible and they're kind of his thing. And this universe for The Conjuring is a moneymaker for Warner Brothers, and James Wan is the reason why. And so just like The Flash, I'll kind of withstand judgment for now because I like the first 2 Conjuring movies. And James Wan, even though he doesn't direct, he always seems to be incredibly involved with projects, and that does give me some hope.
Yeah,
the title is very cheesy. So
all right, so when and Conjuring is my favorite horror movie of all time. It is the best horror movie ever made. And when I saw James Wan wasn't directing, I completely lost interest. But I haven't seen The Curse of Ilona, but I think James Wan, he helps pick these directors. I think and kind of he's gotten a lot of horror directors like their gigs.
Or the guy who did Shazam and Annabelle 2.
So and the thing is, other than Annabelle Creation, all the other horror movies that are in the Conjuring universe that James Wan didn't direct have been bad. And even Annabelle. The Insidious sequels, other than I love the first Insidious. James Wan directed the second one. I don't love the second one. It's a good movie though, but he didn't direct the other 2, and those are bad. So I always get hesitant not directing. But the one thing that I like is the background story of how it's the first case in U.S. history where somebody claimed demonic things made him do it. That's interesting. If James Wan was directing, I would be like, oh, damn, I'm so excited for this. Not really. See. We'll see. And the thing is, the title is cheesy, but it fits the backstory, though.
As far as the synopsis goes, 100%. Yeah,
if the movie was just called The Devil Made Me Do It, just that, it might be better. But The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Not a great title.
I'm with you. All right, well, sticking with Warner Brothers and another DC topic.
A lot of Warner Brothers.
And DC stuff. Ghostbusters still.
Where's Gio this episode?
I know, right? We're going to talk about Birds of Prey. And director Kathy Ann had some very interesting comments for Birds of Prey. And when she was asked if Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, there was a certain amount of time between the movies, she said the following. There is not any known amount of time. No, it kind of exists in a parallel timeline. Obviously, this could just be surface value comments, her responding to something and not really thinking about what she's saying. But it could also mean something outside of that as well because of what's been going on with Joker and the Batman doing its own thing as well. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, she was in Suicide Squad, she's in this. Jared Leto's not in this. Does it exist in an alternate timeline?
I hate this, man. I freaking hate this. This is like, you can just make any movie and then make a sequel to it and say, just in a different timeline. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, but I guess when you're dealing with comic book stuff and, you can do whatever you want, but whatever. It's Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn. I'm in.
I'm with you.
I'm in, and
I'm
she's
100% with you.
Producing it. Mm-hmm. She chose the director. This is Margot Robbie's love child of film,
and it looks fun so far.
It does.
It looks like a lot of fun.
And the thing for me, I love the Harley Quinn character. I love when she's like, "Ooh, it's a sleepover. Let's order some pizza." That is 100% a Harley Quinn thing to say. That's what the character is in the comics. So I'm excited for it. I keep going back to this. Why does a Harley Quinn movie have to be Birds of Prey? It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
She's not a bird.
You should have just made a Harley Quinn movie with, maybe she's working with the Birds of Prey. Like we said, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Call it that. But dope. This is technically a Birds of Prey movie. But it's more about Harley Quinn. But I'm just in. We got her little hyena or cheetah dog. Hyena. I love that. Yeah. So I'm in. But this is ridiculous. I know Suicide Squad is cool. It sucks, basically, bottom line. But, it happened. Say it's the same characters, just in the same timeline, and just move forward.
Well, I'm with
still make a great
100%
movie.
I think that, if it exists in a parallel timeline that's dumb, it's completely dumb. Just forget about what happened in the past. Just make something cool. And the fact that she's also going to be in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which is even more interesting. So
yeah, exactly. And think about this. What if they were like, all right, we're doing Iron Man 4, but it exists in a different timeline.
It's it's a what if story.
We would be like, no,
Yeah.
you can't do that. You did this in Endgame. Leave it and continue. So
totally.
just to compare, you know, we would think it's dumb.
Totally,
so I
totally.
think it's dumb.
I like what I see so far. I'm not like ecstatic about it, but I'm very.
I'm just glad we're seeing the character back.
Yeah,
like
totally.
I wanted the character back in some way.
Totally, I'm with you. I think that she's great. She's definitely the bright spot of Suicide Squad. Her and anything I think is awesome. I think that all the characters around her look like a lot of fun as well. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask is really cool.
Fun, yeah.
So if it's an alternate timeline, shame on you guys. But for the movie itself, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, well, let's move on, guys. Our final section of the day, we have what we're going to be looking forward to, and this is a tough one. We have some big movies coming out that are really going to compete with each other. We have Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker and Cats. I mean,
I gotta go with Cats, man.
I might be there with you.
Yeah.
Might be there with you.
Swizzle, come on.
I'm going to Cats Thursday night, so.
Are you really?
No, God no. No, God no. Come on.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. Oh my goodness, my most anticipated movie of the year. I can't even.
Us 2 out of the 5 of us had it. I
can't even wrap my head around the fact that I'm watching it in less than a week from now. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna be a different person after watching this movie.
We're going the opening showing here on the West Coast. We are going to be at 6 p.m. early.
I'm driving straight from work to the theater.
So am I. So I think
I get off at 5:15.
Oh man, you can't get off earlier?
I might. I don't know.
Might have to.
Traffic wise.
Okay, so yeah, I mean it's. You don't even need to talk. We're gonna just. I guess I can plug this for the Padawan that's gonna be coming out on Tuesday. We're previewing the movie. Jacob and I. We're gonna be talking about questions and predictions that we have for the movie. Things that are going to be going down, and so yeah, I mean, we don't really need to talk about why we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for Apocaflix Now for this episode. That was a fun conversation. I'm surprised we went so long, considering there's two of us.
We're sitting at an hour and 6 right now.
Yeah, a little bit longer than we usually go.
We jammed through the back stuff.
Yeah, a little bit longer than we usually go. But we had some big stuff to talk about. We didn't even plan to talk about Power Rangers until last night. Yep. So basically we had a full show and added that. But that's going to do it for today. Thank everybody for watching. We really appreciate it. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about all of the topics that we talked about. We would love to hear your thoughts and have some conversations with you. That is Jake Berlin over there behind the controls. Thank you, Jake. That was fun. Thanks for putting this fun show together. Yes. I am Jacob Bartley, your host, and thank you for watching again. We will see you all next time. Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocaflix Movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocaflix Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.